Hello everyone, welcome to today's session. So till last session, what we have discussed about code of ethics, we have discussed about the structure of paper 3, we have discussed about chapter 19 and Chartered Accountants Act, some sections of the Chartered Accountant Act. Before ending the lecture, I gave you the structure of the schedules, how they are structured and what are the schedules. First schedules consist of 4 parts. Part 1, misconduct in relation to chartered accountant in practice. Part 2, professional misconduct in relation to member in service. Part 3, professional misconduct in relation to member of institute generally. And part 4, other misconduct in relation to member of institute generally. So first 3 parts related to the professional misconduct. The fourth part is other misconduct. Okay. So that is the structure of schedule 1. It encompasses part 1 encompasses 12 clauses, part 2 2 clauses, part 3 3 clauses, part 2 again, part 4 again 2 clauses. So in total, if you see, somewhere 19 clauses we have in first schedule. Now, if I go to second schedule, second schedule contains of 3 parts. Part 1, professional misconduct in relation to chartered accountant in practice. Again, it contains 10 clauses. Part 2, professional misconduct in relation to member of institute generally. It contains 3 clauses. Part 3, other misconduct in relation to member of institute generally. It contains 2 clauses. Now, if you see in both of the schedules, first schedule and the second schedule, in first schedule, we have part 4, which is related to other misconduct. In second schedule, we have part 3 in relation to the other misconduct. Now, this is something we have discussed till last lecture. Okay, just a quick summary of the schedules. We discussed this also in the last lecture. Now, what we are targeting today? We are targeting today to go in deep for the first schedule. So, the part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4 with the questions, we will discuss first schedule in detail. Okay, I hope everyone has gone through a study material. I hope everyone has read once, because it will help you to understand. If not, please keep ready the study material with yourself, so that when I will explain, if the study material in front of you, you will be able to correlate easily. Okay, this is something we are discussing currently, this is something we are discussing currently, and it will really help you to understand this everything in flow. Okay, so let's discuss first schedule. Now, what I'll do is I'll prepare a clause by clause summary, just a highlight clause by clause summary of part 1. And these summaries I will also suggest to you to prepare with me, because this summary will also help you at the time of exam. Okay, let's start. So we will prepare clause by clause summary. Just zoom in a bit for you guys. Yeah. And also I'll request everyone to prepare the summary with me. What we are starting with? First schedule, part 1. Now, as we discussed, first schedule, part 1 has in total 12 clauses. So, which are these 12 clauses? Clause number 1. Clause number 1 says that if a member in practice allows anyone to practice in his name, then he will be held guilty of professional misconduct. I'm just providing a summary as of now for your, we will be discussing in detail clause by clause. So clause 1 says that this member in practice, so this is applicable to member in practice. Okay, so member in practice allows to practice in his name. Then he will be guilty of professional misconduct. Now there is exception to this. Exception is he can allow a CA in practice, another CA in practice, okay, to practice in his name when they are into partnership or employment. So if I explain in simple terms, let's say there is one of my friend who is not a CA. I cannot allow him to practice in my name, irrespective of how good friend, how good he is with respect to in terms of friendship. No, I cannot allow him. If there is an employee who is a CA in practice, like, or who is into partnership with me, in that case I can allow that CA in practice already who is there, okay, in partnership with me, for example my another partner, to practice in my name or to practice in my firm's name. So other than CA in practice, if I allow anyone to practice in my name, I will be held guilty of professional misconduct. Clear? Okay. Clause 2. Now clause 2 talks about payment. Okay. What it says that if I agree or I pay to anyone any commission or anything, okay, as a profit share something, who is not a member of ICAI or specified person, then I will be held guilty of professional misconduct. For example, I cannot pay a commission or something, to procure the work, or I cannot share my profit. Okay, you give me the work, 10% is yours, 90% is mine, or 20% is yours, or 50%, 80% is mine. No. So if I pay or agree to pay commission to any person, I will be held guilty of professional misconduct. Agree to pay commission to any person. But again, remember, each and every clause has some exceptions. So if I agree to pay a commission, okay, if I agree to pay a commission who is a member of institute or he is a specified person, in that case it is fine. So if there is a member of institute, okay, and or if he is a member of institute, okay, or he is a specified person. Now what is a specified person? I'll come into that detail, don't worry on that. But if he is a specified person, then it is fine, then you can pay. Are you getting my point? Any doubt till now? Any doubt? Okay, great. Till now, perfectly fine. Now, the third clause, sorry. Clause 3, which says that earlier I was paying, now I'm accepting. If I accept or agree to accept any commission, then I will be held guilty for professional misconduct. So, accept or agree to accept commission from anyone. In that case, I will be held guilty of professional misconduct. Now, again, if I talk about exception, it is member of institute or specified person. Again, the same exception. If I pay them, or if I agree or accept to agree from them, it's perfectly fine. Okay. Now coming to clause 4. Clause 4 enters in if a member in practice enters into a partnership with any person other than the specified one. In that case, he will be held guilty of professional misconduct. So, enters into partnership with any person. Exception, again, with any person other than who is the member of the institute, because I can enter into a partnership with another CA in practice, perfectly fine for me, or specified person. If I enter into a partnership with specified person, then it is also perfectly fine. That is clause 4. Clause 5. If I secure business through a person, if I secure business through a person's or through means which is not open to a chartered accountant, it will be held guilty. It will be held that I am guilty of professional misconduct. So, secure business through a person. Now here I would add other than specified person. Through a person other than specified person, okay, or through means which are not open to a chartered accountant. In that case, I will be held guilty of professional misconduct. And however, there are exceptions over here. Exception is any arrangement with specified person which is specified in clause 234. See, here I can enter into a partnership as per clause 4 with specified person. I can agree and accept commission from specified person as per clause 3. I can pay or agree to pay commission to specified person falling under the exception in clause 2. Means if I enter into an arrangement with a specified person which is allowed as per clause 234, or if I secure business from them and I pay commission to them. So in that case, if there is any arrangement which is falling under, in the exception category of clause 234, that will be fine for the clause 5 also. So exception, which is any arrangement with specified person as per clause 2, 3 and 4. So if something is not prohibited by clause 2, 3 and 4, that arrangement will be fine as per clause 5 also. Straightforward, pretty straightforward. Now coming to clause 6. What clause 6 says that if I solicit a client through advertisement, in that case, I will be held guilty of professional misconduct. Solicit a client through advertisement. Okay, in that case, I will be held guilty of professional misconduct, but it will be fine if I solicit a work from another CA by applying to another CA and tenders. I can apply to tenders also. I can apply to another CA. Not apply means I can reach out to another CA if they want to share the work with me. Perfectly fine. I can, apply for the tenders which are available. It is also perfectly fine for me. Okay. Clause 7. Solicit the clause 7 says that if I advertise my professional attainments, okay, in that case, I will be held guilty of professional misconduct. Advertise the professional attainments. Kind of, professional achievements that I have received throughout my career, or, something I am recognized for, I have been awarded for, something like that. But there is an exception to this. I can, advertise, which is star mark. I'll do a star mark. Means terms and conditions apply. Okay. I can do advertisement with terms and conditions apply for my recognized degree or designation. But remember this important part, terms and conditions apply. So we will see what is those are terms and conditions, advertisement guidelines, everything in detail. But yes, I can do that. Clause 8. If I accept, okay, if I accept the position, okay, if I accept the position of auditor without communicating with previous auditor, without communicating with previous auditor, I will be held guilty of professional misconduct. Straightforward. Even there is no exception to this. Straightforward clause. Clause 9. Okay. Which is, if I accept appointment of auditor without verifying the requirements of section 139 and 140 of Companies Act 2013, of course. In that case, I will be held guilty of professional misconduct. Now, someone might ask a question: what if, sir, we are accepting the appointment of a proprietorship firm, partnership firm for tax audit? Do we still need to verify section 139, 140 requirements? No, you are not required to verify until and unless it is not applicable. For example, if you are getting appointed for auditor for a partnership firm or a proprietorship firm for tax audits, where Companies Act is not applicable, this clause will also not applicable. Straightforward. So it's not necessary that you have to see the compliance of this particular clause where it is not applicable or where Companies Act is not applicable. So don't do that. Clause 10. If I charged or offered to charge my fees based on percentage, okay, I will provide you this much refund in your income tax, you pay me 10% of the refund amount. Or my audit fee will be 5% of your turnover. No. If I charge or offer to charge fees based on percentage of profit or contingent upon any event, in that case, I will be held guilty of professional misconduct. I cannot do that. Charge or offer to charge fees based on percentage of profits or contingent upon any event. In that case, I will be held guilty of professional misconduct. Now here we have an exception. The exception is certain scenarios where permitted. In certain scenarios, it is permitted by counsel that I can charge. Okay, there are certain scenarios where it is permitted by counsel. So except for those scenarios, I cannot. Clause 11. If I engage in any other profession or occupation, if I engage in any other profession or occupation other than the profession of CA, unless permitted by counsel, I will be held guilty of professional misconduct. Engage in any other profession or occupation other than the profession of CA, unless permitted by counsel, I will be held guilty of professional misconduct. There is an exception to this, as usual, which exception means I can do that. Those are things allowed. Okay, I will not be held guilty of professional misconduct when if I'm falling under that exception clause. So what is that exception? Being a director, okay, is perfectly fine. I can be a director, but again, terms and conditions apply. We will discuss that. Clause 12. If I allow a person who is not a CA in practice or a member, okay, or a partner to sign on my behalf, in that case, I will be held guilty. Means I ask my friend who is not a member or who is not a CA in practice, who is not a member, who is not a partner, and I ask him, okay, please sign my report on my behalf. I will be held guilty of professional misconduct. I cannot do that. Allow a person, okay, who is not a CA in practice, member, or a partner. Okay, I allow a person who is not a CA in practice or a member or a partner to sign on my behalf. Okay, in that case, I will be held guilty of professional misconduct. Clear? I'll give you quickly 2 minutes to just quickly glance through all the clauses. If you want to write something, write it down. Just take 2 minutes. If you want to prepare your notes with this summary, do it quickly. So in 2 minutes, we will continue and take clause by clause in detail. Just if you want to quickly take the notes or something. Done? Any doubt? Just quickly take the notes. Okay? I hope you have taken the notes and you have made this summary with me. Perfectly fine? Good. I will explain everything. Who is the specified person, clause by clause explanation, detail, we'll go in discussion, detailed discussion. No issues for that. Just what I want to, why I want to, take these notes is because they will help you in the last day of your exam. Okay. And if you want, you can, do a highlight. For example, if I allow to practice a person, if I pay commission, if I accept commission, if I enter into partnerships, means not open to CA, advertisement, professional attainments, without communicating, accepting appointment of auditor, fees which is contingent, engage in any other profession, or allow a person who is not a CA to sign on my behalf. So just quick words also to remember all the clauses for you. Okay, by this way you can easily remember the clauses. Just by focusing on the keyword, you will be easily able to remember the clause. Okay. Now let's discuss clause by clause in detail. Let's start with clause 1. Okay. What clause 1 was? Allow any person to practice in his name as a CA unless such person is also a CA and or in partnership or in employment with him. Okay. If I allow a person to practice in his name as a CA unless such person is also a CA in practice and remember that here it is and is in partnership or with or employment with or employment by him. Okay. Means if I allow a person, okay, to practice in my name, unless and until he's in partnership with me, he's a CA in practice, or he's employed by me. In that case, I will be held guilty of professional misconduct. So if I just explain you with a diagram way, who is allowed basically, okay, to practice in CA's name? Who is allowed to practice in CA's name? Non-chartered accountant or basically chartered accountant or a chartered accountant in practice. Okay. So non-chartered accountant are not allowed. They are not allowed to practice in my name. Where is chartered accountant in practice? If he's a partner, I would say, okay, if he's a partner, then I would allowed to practice in my name. If he is an employee, I would allow him to practice in my name. If he is any other chartered accountant in practice, who is not linked to me, who is not a partner, who is not an employee, then straightforward, I would say not allowed. Clear? Any doubt? Thank you, Ginny. Any doubt till now? Just to understand clause 1, pretty straightforward, simple, nothing complex over here. Abrakesh, see, if a chartered accountant in practice, if he is an employee, I can allow him. If he is not an employee, I cannot allow him to practice. That is straightforward there. Okay. It is assumed in that particular question that he is the employee and CA in practice. That's why. So if employee is not a CA in practice, I cannot allow him because he is a non-chartered accountant. Are you getting my point? Straightforward. Non-chartered accountant not allowed. Chartered accountant in practice, I'm again repeating, he should be in practice. Okay, it's not like that he should not be. He should be in practice. This is very important part. Some people say only member of institute, but he is not practicing chartered accountant. No, he should be in practice. Then only I allow him to practice in my name. What is it? It appears to be simple, but what is the condition over here? To allow anyone to practice in my name, I can only allow a person or a chartered accountant to practice when he's a practicing chartered accountant. Abrakesh, yes, it is not there, but it is assumed. That's why I'm saying it is assumed that in illustration 5, Mr. T is an practicing chartered accountant and employee. Any doubt till now? Jay Lakshmi, I will explain the specified person in some time. Don't worry on that. So I will be explaining specified persons with clause and clause. Don't worry. We'll be taking that in detail. I'll explain you with an example. Mr. A, who is a CA in practice, employed Mr. K, S, and A. Oh, sorry, K, S, C. So he employed 3 different people, Mr. K, Mr. S, and Mr. C. Out of them, Mr. K is a graduate from X university. Mr. S is member of institute and Mr. C is a lawyer. Okay. Mr. A allowed all three to practice in his name. Okay, allowed to practice in his name. Kindly guide who is allowed to practice, allowed to practice in name of Mr. A. Okay, so there are three options. Option is Mr. K, Mr. S, and Mr. C. You tell me who is allowed to practice out of these three. Who is allowed to practice out of these three? Mr. K, Mr. S, and Mr. C. Some are saying S, some are saying C, some are saying S and C. I have mixed answers. Come on, guys. Don't worry. Try to answer. Okay. Some people are saying S, some people are saying C. So there are three. K, S, and C. Three people. Anyone with K? Anyone with K? Great. So we are pretty much clear with Mr. K. Mr. K is not allowed. Great. Now comes to S and C. Some people are saying Mr. C. But remember, Mr. C is a lawyer. He's not a member of institute. So if he's not a member of institute, not allowed. Okay, not allowed. Now, coming to Mr. S. Can Mr. S be allowed to practice? Answer is not allowed. Now I'll tell you why. The reason lies here. I said member of institute. So whosoever is answering whether as in practice or not, I have specifically used the word member of institute. I'm not saying he's a CA in practice. So you have to interpret the way it is given in the question as of now. So if I say he's a member of institute, means he's not practicing. Otherwise, I would have given specifically that he's practicing chartered accountant. So if he's a member of institute, he's not practicing chartered accountant. In that case, he is also not allowed. So that's why I said he has to be a CA in practice to be an employee if I want to allow him. Otherwise, non-chartered accountant in practice are not allowed. COP is necessary. Otherwise, I cannot allow him to practice in my name. Clear? Pretty straightforward. Nothing difficult. Any doubt? Okay. Now, yes, why? So why CA in practice cannot be in employment? CA in practice can be in full-time employment in a CA firm. That is there. So they can be. It's not necessary that they cannot be. there is a, even if you read section 2.2 of the Chartered Accountants Act, over there is an explanation which says that an associate or a fellow member of institute who is a salaried employee of a chartered accountant in practice or a firm of such chartered accountants, in that case, irrespective of his employment, he will be counted as a deemed to be in practice for the limited purpose of training article assistant. So he can be counted to deemed to be in practice, but for limited purpose. Section 2.2 of the CA Act allows that a CA who is an associate or fellow member to be in employment and still be counted as if deemed to be in practice for limited purpose. So I can hold COP for the limited purpose. Okay. Now, coming to the next clause. Then see, as is a member of institute. Again, understand, member of institute and member or CA in practice being in employment. There are two different things. He has to be, CA in practice and then employment. Just by being in an employment, he's not allowed to practice in someone else's name. So there are two different things. I'm just, explaining the concept over here. Sections 2.2 says that he can be counted as a deemed to be practice, but he has to apply for that. Okay, please count me to be deemed to be in practice and provide me the COP for limited purpose. Here in this case, he has not even applied for COP. How can I allow him to be to practice in my name? I hope Anila, you got the answer. Like, not necessary just by being member in practice and being employment in the CA firm, I'm allowed to practice in someone else's name. No. Okay. Coming to clause 2. Very interesting clause. Okay, and we will discuss this in detail. Now again, CA in practice. If a CA in practice allows, agrees, pays, okay, directly or indirectly. Understand this particular term, directly or indirectly. It is not necessary that I am paying directly. It is even indirectly. Any share, commission, or brokerage, okay, in the fees. So by whatever name you take it, share, commission, brokerage, in the fees or profits, okay, from his business, of his business or profession. So I'll write professional business. In that case, I will be held guilty of professional misconduct. But remember, there was an exception. I asked you to write an exception, member or specified person. Now, what is that exception? That exception is that if I agree or allow, or if I pay directly or indirectly any share, commission in fees or profit of his professional business to other than specified person, okay, to other than specified person or to anyone other than specified person. Wait a minute, let me rewrite it. Anyone other than specified person. In that case, I will be held guilty of professional misconduct. Now the thing is, who are these specified person? from where they are coming, where they are mentioned. So when I talk about the specified person, these are specified under Regulation 53A of CA Regulation 1988. First, member is by default is there, member of institute. So member of institute is directly allowed. He's is directly part of that. Okay. Member of institute, or you can say partner, or a retired partner, or legal representative of a deceased partner, the partner who is no longer there, okay, in this world. Or such specified person. Now, what is a specified person? I'll explain you. The term specified person, or I call it as a specified person, it is defined under Regulation 53A. Now, Regulation 53A says that these are the people who are allowed, okay, to whom you can, pay or agree to pay, or you can share the commission, fees, any part of profit, or, whatever is there. So, who are they? One, members of professional bodies. So, member of such professional bodies. Now, which are these bodies? Professional bodies. They are Institute of Company Secretaries of India, ICSI, basically. Then you have an Institute of Cost and Works Accountant of India. Then you have Bar Council. Then you have Indian Institutes of Architect. Then you have a Institute of Actuaries of India. Okay. So these are the professional bodies with whom you can share, your profit or your percentage or commission. That is allowed. So members of such professional bodies, and these are the professional bodies. Second is that even though he's not a member of professional body, but he is having such qualifications. So person with such qualification. Person with such qualification, okay, as may be prescribed. Now, which is this qualification I'm talking about? Now, this qualification, again, predominantly, whatever memberships we have discussed, the qualification belongs to these professional bodies only. For example, company secretary, then you have a cost accountant, then you have an actuary, then you have a bachelor's in engineering, okay, then you have a bachelor's in technology, then you have a bachelor's in architect, then you are a bachelor's in law, You are a MBA, Masters in Business Administration from universities or established by law or technical institute or something like that. So this is something which are the persons with such qualifications. Clear? Sumit, can you explain what is RVO you are referring over here? Now, good question. So, is this necessary that they should be in practice? See here, what is the scenario is, in order for a member to share the fees, okay, or profit, or part of commission or brokerage, whatever it is, with any other person, okay, in that case, the person should be member of other professional body or should be having such qualification. I'm not talking about being in practice. Like in some cases, let's say for example, he's bachelor's in technology. Like I don't know whether there's a separate certificate of practice for the bachelor's in technology. I don't know whether there's a separate certificate for of practice COP for bachelor's in architecture. So in that case, it's not necessary. Either they should be having such qualification or they should be member of such professional bodies. I'm not talking about practice over here. I have not used the word member in practice of such professional bodies. No, no. I'm just only talking about member of such professional bodies. Are you getting the point here? It's not they should be in practice. It is just members or persons having such qualification. Very good question, Ginny. Whether in exam is it required to write section number, regulation number, clause number? Answer is yes. You are right. You are required to write. Any further doubts? Any doubt? Is these persons are related to SA 620? Can you explain like what relation you are talking about? Okay, so there is one question whether this legal representative should be in practice. No, here the legal representative of the lease partner is there, not the should not be a member in practice. I'm talking about a person who is no longer there, but his legal representative can be can get some amount. I'll explain where. In case of person is BCA but MSc IT, any such payment is allowed for consultancy. BCA, he is a bachelor's. See, now what is the scenario? Here, the term which is specified is bachelor's in technology. Now, if you see MSc IT is a master's in IT, I think it would be fine. But again, we need to see whether he has that MSc IT from university which should be established by law or an institute which is recognized by law. In that case, it is fine. Using work auditors expert whether these will be expert. That's why I'm allowing. Otherwise, what is the purpose of allowing? Let's say tomorrow I hire some IT person with a bachelor's in technology, or I hire an architect or an engineer. for being an expert, in that case, I will be paying him some amount. Okay. So you can say that, okay, I agree to pay any share, commission, brokerage, and fees. Okay, I'm paying a share of fees just because he's helping me in my audit or in any of the assignment. Okay. So in that case, I will be paying him. That's why it is for the professionals, person having some specified qualifications or member in institute. If he's helping me during the audit, in that case, yes, he will be called as an auditor's expert. Sumit, you can call it whichever, name can be anything. Like I can say it's any share, it can be referral fee, it can be commission, brokerage, goodwill fee, okay, helping fee, whatever name it follows, it will be covered by clause. Now, why I have specified partner or retired partner or legal representative? Okay, there is a reason. Now, what happens? Let's say there is a partnership firm and one of the partner dies. So, partnership firm will continue. The share of the partner who died can be received by a legal representative of that partner. Only if a partnership agreement provides that, okay, the money that was invested by that partner will still continue to be there because the goodwill, because of XYZ reason, we will be still paying the share to the legal representative of the leased partner. Okay. So there are other things which can be there with when it comes to the legal representative or retired partner based on the partnership agreement. So for those cases, partner or retired partner or a legal representative of the leased partner is allowed. Any doubt? I hope it is clear, pretty much straightforward. There is nothing critical over here. No? Okay. Let me proceed to the clause 3 and then we will take questions together for the clause 1 to 3. Clause 3. If a member in practice accepts, okay, if a member in practice, if he accepts or agree to accept, again, any part of profits of the professional work, okay, of a person who is not a member of institute, of a person who is not a member of institute, okay, or he is not a member of a professional body, okay, or not a member of such professional bodies. Or other persons having such qualification. So if I agree or accept, okay, any part of profit, that is important, any part of profit of the professional work of a person who is not a member of professional bodies, or he is not having such qualification. So not a member of institute, not a member of professional bodies, or not having such qualification, other than person having such qualification, means not having that qualification. In that case, I will be held guilty of professional misconduct. Now the question here is, professional bodies, such qualification, which are these? So when I talk about professional bodies or such qualification, these are the similar as discussed in clause 2, that is regulation 53A. Same, whatever we discussed over here, regulation 53A, professional bodies, such qualification, it is the same that we are referring over here in the clause 3. Clear? Any doubt? Any doubt? No? Okay, if no further doubts, what we do is, let us take some questions on that particular topic and then we will move forward. Okay, let's take some questions first. So we discussed clause 1, 2, 3 in detail. Okay, these 3 clauses are done. Now let us see one example also and then we will go to the questions also. Now there is a conversation happening between Mr. A, okay, and there is Miss C. There are 2 people, Mr. A and Mrs. C. They are discussing something. Let us see what they are discussing. Mr. A, hi there, I am newly qualified chartered accountant. I have just started my own firm. I have a friend, Mr. K, who is a CA finalist, but still has 2 months left of his articleship training. I have offered him 10% commission of any clients he bring to my firm. That's he says that's an interesting arrangement. So Mr. K would essentially be referring clients to you while still he's completing his articleship. She's asking a question. So he says exactly he's keen to get some experience in the business development. So I could use the help getting from my firm of the ground. So he was getting the help from Mr. K, who is a CA finalist and doing articleship. Miss C says that I see, but I understand Mr. K's current principal, who is Mr. O, can have the objection to this arrangement. Means the current principal is someone else. It's not Mr. A, but it is Mr. O. What he says that Mr. A says that yes, Mr. O is concerned that it might create a conflict of interest for Mr. K, but if you see, but anyways, he agreed to do so, and he says that I will pay him 10% commission, so he would be making some more amount than his stipend, and that at least good for him. Okay, so this is some discussion between 2 people, Mr. A and Miss C. Mr. A is who is a newly qualified chartered accountant, started his practice, has asked Mr. K to provide him the clients in return for the 10%. Mr. K, he is a CA finalist doing articleship. Now, what do you feel about this particular arrangement? What do you have any concerns over here? Do you think there is some issue in this particular arrangement or not? Any concerns that you might have in this particular one? Yes, no. Sorry. Oops. Just a minute. There is some issue. Just give me a minute. Sorry, there is some technical glitch. Just a minute. Yeah. So do you think whether there is any issue in that arrangement? Is there any issue? Yes or no? Do you think there is any issue in that arrangement? Yes, no, yes. Clause as per clause 2 not allowed. Yes, yes. Very good. Yes. So you are absolutely correct. So there is an issue in that arrangement basically because he is paying an amount to a person who is not a member of institute, who is not a member of a professional body, and who is neither having such qualifications. Plus, as he is doing articleship, he is also not allowed to enter into such particular arrangement. So, as per clause 2, not allowed. And we will discuss one more clause under which it will be a problem for him. Correct, Pooja? Yes. So, this kind of arrangement is not allowed. Clear? Okay. Let me move to the next question. So we did this. Mr. A cannot enter. That is perfectly fine. There is another question. Anisha, we will definitely do that after the questions. Don't worry on that. Another question. Mr. A was a tax accountant. Okay. He was having certificate in tax accounting from Coalition of Accountants, a Section 8 company formed under Companies Act 2013. Certificate in tax accounting was a course developed and monitored by the Coalition of Tax Accountants. However, the same was not accredited by any university or board. Mr. A entered into agreement with Mr. K, a practicing chartered accountant and specialized in audit, for sharing the client with him in lieu of 25% of fee sharing. All the work related to the client will be performed by Mr. K. Against that, he will keep 75% of the share of the fees. At the end of the year, Mr. K paid a sum of rupees 2,50,000 of his share of fees after deducting the necessary TDS. Is Mr. K liable to professional misconduct? So there are two people, Mr. A and K. A is a having certificate in tax accounting. Okay. He entered into a partnership with Mr. K, who is a practicing chartered accountant, for sharing of fees. That Mr. K will be doing all the work, that will be keeping 75%, and Mr. A will be keeping 25%. So what do you think? You have options given below. Quickly go through the options in 2 minutes and tell me which is the correct option. Come on, guys. Which is the correct option? Come on, quickly. Very good, Sumit. Yes. Good, Rakesh. Yes. Yes, Nisha, correct. Okay, Anila, very good. Yes, Pooja. Yes, Jenny. Okay, no issues. Come on, guys, quickly. Which is the correct option over here? Okay, Darshan. Yes. Anyone on who's not on Zoom? Okay. So let's understand the answer over here. See, Mr. A is a tax accountant. He is not a member of institute. He is not a person having such qualifications. He is not a member of a professional body. Understand? As per clause 3, I being a CA in practice, I cannot accept. Okay, I cannot accept any amount from a person who is not a member of institute, who is not a member of such professional bodies, and who is not having such qualifications. In this case, I will be held guilty. That is perfectly sure. That will be the scenario. Now the question here is that which option is correct? Now, if you see option number 1, arrangement is appropriate, that is incorrect. Arrangement is not appropriate at all. So, understood. So, this is not a correct option. Option B, need a prior permission. So, there is no concept of prior permission. So, B is also not correct. Now, you have a C and D. Can anyone tell me what's the difference between C and D? A lot of people have answered C. A lot of people have answered B. Which is correct? Yes, Sumit, very good. Yes, Nisha, very good. So which one will be the correct? If you're telling the reference, Abrakesh, Nisha, Sumit, which one is correct? Yes, 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 Tushar. Yes, Sumit. So option C talks about other misconduct, whereas option D is talking about professional misconduct. Remember, when we were discussing the parts, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, I told you that if there is something from part 4 of first schedule and part 3 of second schedule, then only I will say other misconduct. Otherwise, I will not say other misconduct. What I will say is professional misconduct. So while reading the options, it is necessary that you pay attention to each and every word. So what happens is when in exam we are reading an option, we will focus, okay, Mr. A cannot enter in an agreement, perfectly fine. This is C, correct, go ahead. But we forget to look at each and every word, liable for other misconduct or professional misconduct. That is very important. Clear? Any doubt? Yes, Rakesh.
Good evening, sir. Sir, in option, all the options, whatever been asked is for Mr. A and not Mr. K, who is a chartered accountant. If you look at all the options, even in case of D, it has been mentioned that Mr. A is liable to professional misconduct. Now, Mr.
Yeah,
A
sorry.
is not a.
It should be Mr. K.
So,
Yes.
so
It should
that
be
is
Mr. K.
okay. Okay, that's okay. Fine, sir. Thank you.
Good point. Yes, it should be Mr. K, not Mr. A. Mr. K should be liable for professional misconduct. Agree. So Mr. K is liable. Mr. K cannot enter into an agreement with Mr. A. That is for sure. Okay. Okay. Let us see next question. Mr. A, he is a director, managing director of Indotex Private Limited. Decided to enter into a joint venture with Mr. B of Virtutex Private Limited for purpose of synergies. Now, Mr. A is a member of institute. Okay, he's a managing director also. He's a member of institute. They both started Indo Virtutex Private Limited. Is Mr. A and Mr. B liable for professional misconduct? So, Mr. A is the managing director of a particular company. He entered into a joint venture with Mr. B of another private limited company. Mr. A is a member of institute. Are they liable? Yes or no? What do you say? Sorry. Yeah. Very good, Abhirakesh. Okay. Good, Pooja. Nisha, you have to see the whatever given in the question. Based on that, you need to answer. Okay. Yes, Usha. Very good. What else? Danya. Yes. Okay, Pooja. Yes, Sumit. Correct. Anila. Yes, very good. Anila, can you also tell me the reason why you selected that answer? Okay, Abhirakesh. Very good. Absolutely correct, Anila. Okay. So let's discuss the answer in this particular scenario. Now, there are two people, Mr. A and Mr. B. Both are, both have a company. One is Indotex, one is Virtutex. They both started a joint venture known as Indo Virtutex Private Limited. Understand first thing. We are talking about part one. Okay. It is applicable to CA in practice. I have never said anyone, whether Mr. A or Mr. B, they are CA in practice. I said they are member of institute, but they are not CA in practice. So, is there any restriction who is not CA in practice based on clause 4? Answer is no. Part 1 will not be applicable to that particular member of institute because part 1 is applicable to member in practice, not member of institute. Understand, there is difference between both of them. In question, it is specifically given that Mr. A is a member of institute, not a member in practice. So if you are saying guilty of professional misconduct, why? Clause 4 will not get attracted because he is not in practice. Part 1 will not be applicable at all. Hence, the correct answer will be clause 4 because it says that option C, it says that clause 4 of part 1 of first schedule, if CA in practice enters into any partnership. Hence, Mr. A is not guilty of professional misconduct because he is not CA in practice. It will be option C, not option any other option from here. Just you have to pay focus to each and every word. He is a member of institute, not member in practice. Are you getting my point? Any doubt till now? Any doubt? Any doubt, guys? I hope this is clear. Yes or no? So this is clear. Yes, except for the clause, there is no difference in C or D. But D is saying clause 5 is something, entering into partnership, which is wrong. That's why I cannot select clause D. I need to, option D. I need to select option C. Option D is wrong, basically. It says that clause 5 has this detail, which is not correct. Clause 4 has that detail, but that is applicable to only CA in practice. And Mr. A is not CA in practice. He's just a member. He can enter into a partnership perfectly fine. He can start new company perfectly fine. There will be no professional misconduct. Okay. Any doubt till now? Whatever we have discussed. Any doubt, guys? No? No doubts? Okay. If no further doubts, what I propose is let's take a quick 10-minute break. Try to get whatever we have discussed, take a break, get refreshed, and after 10 minutes we'll come back and we'll continue the session, and we'll take further few clauses. Okay, let's take a quick 10-minute break. Yes. Okay. So we discussed till clause 1, clause 2, clause 3. I'll just quickly cover clause 4 also. Okay, because it's on the same line, whatever we have discussed till now. So what clause 4 says? Clause 4 says that if there is a CA in practice, if he enters into partnership, if he enters into a partnership, not only in India, but outside India, so in or outside India, covers everything, not only in India, but in or outside both, in or outside India, with any person other than mentioned below. Now, which are these persons? Like, if he enters into a partnership, then that is fine. One, CA in practice. If a CA in practice enters into a partnership with another CA in practice, perfectly fine. Second, members of such professional bodies, person having such qualification Now, there is one more addition over here. Okay. Till now, we were talking about member of such professional bodies, or we were talking about persons having such qualifications. But over and above that, okay, over and above that, there is one more. That whose qualification are recognized by central government, okay, or you can say here membership or whose qualification are recognized by central government. We are not talking about the council or institute, we are talking also about the central government. So, whose qualification are recognized by central government or council. Okay. Now, so we have discussed basically members of such professional bodies, person having such qualification, okay, whose qualification has been recognized by the council or has been prescribed, okay, or person of such professional bodies which are prescribed. But there is one more, recognized by the central government, qualifications recognized by the central government. In that case, okay, there are certain additional persons which are there. So this is nothing but regulation 53A that we have already covered. Now, the last one, which is additional, comes under the purview of regulation 53B. This is the new. It's nothing, basically the content is nothing new, but this is whose qualification are recognized by central government. And this is recognized why? For the partnership. For permitting such partnership. So central government says or council said, okay, there are additional qualifications or professional bodies whose member, with whose member we can enter into a partnership. Okay. So which are these regulation 53B? Professional bodies. Regulation 53B. Basically, you might have heard the word of multidisciplinary partnership firm. So this was the concept which was brought with the regulation 53P. Now we can enter into a partnership with company secretary, who is the member of ICSI, cost accountant, who is the member of ICWA, advocate, who is the member of bar council, engineer, who is the member of institution of engineers. Okay, there is a institution of engineers. Okay, or any engineering from the university established by law or institution, whatever. Okay, then we have architect, who is the member of the Indian Institutes of Architect. Now the last one is actuary, who is the member of the Institute of Actuaries of India. So a member in practice can enter into a partnership with these kind of members of such professional bodies. Now, we are allowed to create a multidisciplinary partnership firm with them. So some might have a question, can we create a multidisciplinary partnership firm with the CS, cost accountant, advocate? Yes, we can create. But whether a company secretary or a cost accountant or an advocate is allowed to create a multidisciplinary partnership firm with chartered accountants as per their regulations or not, that is something they know. And that is something dependent upon the regulations or the guidelines which are issued by their professional bodies. So from our side, it is allowed. Now, from their side, it should be allowed so that multidisciplinary partnership firms can be created. Okay, so this is clause 4, basically talking about partnerships of a CA in practice with other CA in practice or members of such professional bodies, person having such qualification, whose qualifications are recognized by the central government or council. Clear? Any doubt till now? Now the question is whether partnership with a member who is not in practice is allowed or not. So if a member who is not in practice, okay, a CA not in practice, a CA in practice cannot enter into a partnership with CA not in practice. That is, as of now, the structure. Yes, basically clause 1. If you see clause 1, I cannot allow anyone else other than the CA in practice, okay, or whether he is in partner or employment, to use my name. So again, I cannot enter into a partnership with CA who is not in practice, being a CA in practice myself. Any doubt till now? Any doubt? Great. So clause 1 to 4 pretty much clear. Yes, I hope so. It's pretty much clear. If you have doubts, you can ask anytime. Now, one important clause that I want to take. Network forms are covered here, but network form guidelines I will be taking in some time. So you can say something related to the network form is allowed under clause 4. That is not a problem. But network form guidelines I will be taking separately. Don't worry on that. No, clause 4 does not only says member of other professional bodies. It says that CA in practice, if he enters into a partnership in or outside India with any person other than the chartered accountant in practice or such persons who is a member of other professional body having such qualifications as may be prescribed, or or a person whose qualifications are recognized by the central government or council, then he will be guilty of professional misconduct. So clause 4 says that if you enter into a partnership with chartered accountant in practice, it will be perfectly fine. Okay, I hope Nisha, it is clear. Again, it talks about member. It is not talking about member in practice of those professional bodies. Understand, it is a membership of those professional bodies. Whether member in practice or not, that is not there. Because again, it depends upon the guidelines that will be there. Like for example, if you understand one thing, when I say multidisciplinary partnership firm, it's not only the guidelines which are required to be followed, issued by the institute. It is the other person also who has to follow the guidelines of their professional bodies. For example, advocate, he has to follow whatever guidelines issued by the bar council. So it will work both sides. Clear? Okay. Now let's proceed to the next clause. Clause 5. So clause 4, 1 to 4, pretty much clear. We have taken the questions on that clause also. So we are pretty much clear on that clause. Okay. Clause 5. If a CA in practice secures either through the service of a person who is not an employee, of such CA, or who is not his partner or through, this is the one condition, or the second condition is through means or by means which are not open to a chartered accountant. Okay. If he secures either through service of a person who is not employee or not his partner, or through means which are not open to a chartered accountant, but what? If he secures any professional business, now secures professional business through this, then he will be held guilty of professional misconduct. Now, for whole of this arrangement, okay, for whole of this arrangement, I would say arrangements, okay, which are allowed under clause 2, clause 3 and clause 4, okay, are excluded from here. Means if something is permitted by clause 2, clause 3, clause 4, clause 5 does not restrict that arrangement. So for example, if clause 4 says that you can enter into a partnership, clause 5 does not restrict that. If clause 3 says that you can share something for fees, or you can accept some fees for the professional work you shared, or you allowed to pay for some professional work you got, which is allowed under clause 2, 3, 4. Clause 5 does not restrict that. So if 2, 3, 4 allows, 5 also allows. Simple. But there is one more thing that I want to highlight over here. I would say this star mark. What is this star mark? Again, terms and conditions apply. Now, what is this terms and condition? I will star mark over here. But the terms and condition is these arrangements shall be subject to provisions of clause 6 and 7 of this part. Means that while securing the business, if I am securing the business through a means or through an arrangement which is allowed as per clause 3, perfectly fine. I am allowed. There is no issue with the clause 5. But at the same time, I have to take care for the guidelines which are given in the clause 6 and 7. That is soliciting the clients or professional work through advertisement or personal communication. Clause 7 talks about advertisement of the professional attainments and all that stuff. So while soliciting the work, 3, 4, 5 or 2, 3, 4 arrangement, perfectly fine. But at the same time, I need to comply with the 6 and 7 also. Clear? Any doubt till now in this particular clause? Any doubt? This is nothing but simple clause which says that what is allowed by 3, 4, 2, 3, 4 is allowed by me also. But you also take care of 6 and 7. Ginny, I will be taking up the questions. Don't worry. I will be taking up the questions on 5, 6, 7 together. Reason because you cannot have question alone on 5 or 6. Like it's a combination clause. It's not a clause which is standing in standalone basis separately from others. No, it is totally dependent upon 2, 3, 4 and 6 and 7. So don't worry. Just understand as of now that with something which is allowed by 2, 3, 4 is allowed by 5. But same time, I need to check whether it should not be in prohibition of 6 and 7. So something which is not allowed by 6 and 7 should not be done also. Okay. Okay. Now, this was basically clause 5. It in standalone basis, it is, I will be taking up the questions on the clause 5, 6, 7 together so that you can get a good understanding of these clauses. Now, clause 6. What clause 6 is saying, it's a very detailed clause. Okay, we will be taking a lot of questions on this one because it requires a detailed understanding. Clause 6, it says that if a CA in practice solicits clients or professional work either directly or indirectly, through or by circular, advertisement, personal communication, interview, or any other means. Straightforward. Circular, advertisement, personal communication, interview, or any other means. If I'm soliciting client or professional work, then directly or indirectly, I can be held guilty of professional misconduct, provided what is allowed over here is soliciting a work from a chartered accountant. Okay, so I can solicit clients, or I can, a chartered accountant. I can apply to any chartered accountant, or I can request any chartered accountant. Okay, or any chartered accountant can apply for any professional work from any other chartered accountant. So there is no restriction in that. So I can apply, okay, or request professional work from another chartered accountant in practice. So that is fine for me. Yes, Hitesh. I once the particular subject is done, let's say for example, chapter is done, let's say chapter 19 is done, I will be uploading all the notes which I'm writing over here on the BOS portal, plus you will be getting the PPTs that I was showing to you. So everything will be there. But after the completion of the lecture, this particular chapter. Okay, so apply or requesting the work, professional work from another chartered accountant in practice is in kind of exception which is allowed. So you can say this is allowed. And what is allowed other than this? Responding to tenders. Okay, responding to tenders or inquiries issued by various professional services or organizations, okay, from time to time for securing such work, is allowed. But again, when it comes to, responding to tenders or inquiries, there is something we need to take care for. So I will here do star mark, TNCs, terms and conditions apply. Now, what are these terms and conditions? Simple. You can say conditions for tender. So the first condition is CA in practice cannot apply. Okay. CA in practice cannot apply or shall not respond. Practice shall not respond to any tender. To any tender, okay, or user of professional services in areas which are exclusively reserved for the charter accountant. For example, audit and attestations. So if there is an area which is exclusively reserved for the charter accountant, I should not apply for that. Why? Because this is open for me. Why you are taking out the tender? Tender should be taken out for the open areas, general areas. But if you are opening a tender only for the audit, let's say I'm opening a tender, okay, apply for the audit. Please send your quotations for the audit. And the company is trying to create the competition in the market. Apply the lowest quote. So that should not be the case. Okay. There should not be a, condition, or there should not be a scenario where there is a competition between charter accountants and they are applying for the lowest with the lowest quotations, or applying to the tender so that they can get the tender for the audit and attestation work. That's why CA in practice shall not respond to any tender for areas exclusively reserved for charter accountants. Okay. So this was done with a fear that, okay, what if I tomorrow take out a tender? Let's say I have a company, ABC Private Limited. Now I wanted to appoint an auditor. So what I did is I took out a tender in the market. I want an auditor. Okay, you quote as much minimum as you can. What that will do is it will create an environment where there will be, price war. So, it will kind of, induce each and every charter accountant to quote as low as they can to get the tender. Okay. So if it is exclusively reserved for charter accountants, they shall not apply. Now, but as I explained, it creates an environment of price competition. But what if the minimum fee of the assignment is already there? Okay. What if the minimum fee of the assignment is given? So in some assignments, for example, government tenders, there is a work they ask for, charter accountant to apply, and they also provide minimum fees. That price war should not happen. Okay, this is the minimum fees that is there. So price war should not happen. In that case, it is fine. So if minimum fees is prescribed, then CA can apply for tender. Understand? First was we started clause 6 that please do not apply or solicit professional work through advertisement, circular, personal communication, or any other means, which included the tender. Okay. But then there was an exception. Okay, you can respond to the tender. But again, it was said that you should not respond to a tender which is for the areas exclusively reserved for the CA. Then one step further, we are going and saying, no, if there is a minimum fees, you can still respond to the tender. Means if you will respond to a tender which falls, which has a minimum fees, then it will not fall under the purview of clause 6 and it will be fine. So responding to a tender with minimum fees, perfectly fine. Responding to a tender which has no minimum fees for exclusive areas of a CA, clauses will be attracted. Okay, so I'll just present in a chart form. So which is responding to tenders. Okay, so responding to tenders for other areas, for exclusive, okay, areas. Usually I can respond to the tenders which is for the other areas. So kind of you can say allowed. But it is for the exclusive areas. In that case, I need to see two things. Minimum fees prescribed. If yes, then again allowed. If minimum fees not prescribed, means this is to create a price war. In that case, not allowed. Clause 6 will get attracted. So this is how it is with respect to the tenders. So responding to the tenders, perfectly fine. If you respond for other areas, perfectly fine. If you respond to exclusive areas, then make sure minimum fees is there. If minimum fees is not there, please do not respond. Clause 6 will get attracted. I hope it is clear for the tenders. For the empanelment, bank audit, everything I will be taking up. Don't worry on that. I will be taking up that one only. But I hope this is fine. Yes, clear till now, tenders, perfectly fine. I'll be taking up for the empanelment after the tenders only, but I hope this is fine. Okay. Now a lot of you have this particular question. What about sir empanelment, bank audits, different kind of empanelment, cooperative society empanelment, concurrent audit empanelment? What about that? Insurance company empanelment. So a lot of you have that question. So will that be falling under the clause 6? In that case, when it comes to an empanelment, there are some already, guidelines which are given by the council. Okay. To clarify whether clause 6 will come into the picture or not. So I'll explain what is that. It is about application for empanelment, okay, of audit or other professional work for allotment of audit or other professional work. Now, what is the scenario? What is allowed or not allowed in that case? When it comes to the empanelment, so empanelment prepared or panels prepared for the charter accountant. Okay. Over there, if member is aware about that empanelment, okay, like he can apply for the empanelment. So application for empanelment is basically allowed. Okay. But having said that, allowed only when member is aware about empanelment. or aware about the panel. For example, you know there is a bank panel for bank audit. You know there is a panel for insurance company. But let's say, for example, if there is some government department, you are not aware that there is a panel or not, you can apply for the empanelment or not, or you are not aware of that. Okay. In that case, if you are not aware, okay, in that case, if you are not aware and still you apply, in that case, it will become roving inquiries. So, if member is not aware about panel or empanelment and still make inquiries for empanelment, in that case, it will be counted as roving inquiries and clause 6 will attract. Now, what is, without being aware, if I apply, I'll give an example. Simple example. Mr. A sends letter to Department of Railway, okay, and ask them to enter his name in the panel of charter accountants if any maintained by them. Simple. Mr. A sends a letter to Department of Railway and asks them, okay, Ministry of Railway or Department of Railway, what you do is you enter my name into the panel of charter accountant if you are maintaining any. Just I'm sending an open-ended letter to Department of Western Railway or Ministry of Railway. I'll just make it Ministry of Railway, let's say, for example. So I am sending a letter to Ministry of Railway and asking them, okay, Ministry of Railway, do one thing. Enter my name into the panel, whichever panel you are maintaining. I am not aware about the panel, whether you are maintaining or not, but enter my name over there in the list of charter accountants. So that tomorrow, if you have to allot some work, then okay, my name should also come in that panel. If you send such kind of open-ended letters to anyone where you are not aware whether there is a panel or not, then you are gone. Then it's a roving inquiries because you are not aware about the panel. Still, you are sending the letter. You are trying to solicit the work through means which are not open to you, and clause 6 will apply. Am I clear with respect to the empanelment part? So in this case, clause 6 will apply. Simple. Mr. A cannot, until and unless he has the information about such panel. And second thing, not only information, but that panel is accepting the request. For example, at particular point in time, some panels are open, let's say bank audit panel. So you have a time frame when you can apply for that particular panel. Okay, let's say there is a particular month. Now, if that month is passed, bank or RBI is not accepting any further request for the empanelment, and if you still send that request, okay, please enter my name, even though the RBI is not accepting that request or the empanelment time period is over, application time period is over, still it may be counted as a roaming inquiries. I hope it is clear. Any doubt? Any doubt? Okay. Nisha, which part you missed? Can you just explain me? I can explain you again if you have doubt. Can you just explain which part? Before example, you are aware or you need explanation of before example? Okay. It is simple. Before example, what I said is application for empanelment allowed only when member is aware about the empanelment. If member is not aware about the empanelment or panel, taking applications, and still if I'm making queries, that okay, please accept my application, then clause 6 will apply. Okay. So that was with respect to the empanelment. Now coming to one more part over here, which is advertisements and note in the press. So remember in clause 6, what I said, you cannot advertise. Remember, you cannot solicit the work through circular or advertisement. But there are certain advertisements which are allowed. Certain advertisements and notes and note in press which are allowed. So general rule is it is not allowed. That's a general rule. You should not. Okay. But there is some exceptions. These are the exceptions to the general rule. I would write exception for general prohibition. So generally it is not allowed, but there are some exceptions to that. Exception is, first, a member can advertise changes in partnership. Member can advertise about change in partnership or dissolution. Okay, that is allowed. Or any change of address, telephone number, etc. Of address or telephone. Okay, some small thing with the form, that is allowed. Okay, in that also it should be bare statement. Now this advertisement or this circular or press note in the press should be bare statement. With appropriate size. Okay. Now, what is with appropriate size or area of distribution or bare statement? Now, let's say for example, let's say for example, there is a change in phone number. Every newspaper, front page, full front page, oh, this XYZ chartered accountant firm, every newspaper is changing its phone number from this to this, as office this, something this, and it is covered by, in bold letters, XYZ chartered accountant firm, changing phone number from this to this, every newspaper, front page. That is not an advertisement. That is not a bare statement with appropriate size or area of distribution. Okay, that will be advertisement. In in lieu of change of phone number, I am advertising my firm's name on the front page of the newspaper across India. That is advertisement. That is not just a bare statement with appropriate size or area of distribution. Understand that? Okay, so that is an detailed advertisement I am doing just to allow everyone to understand there is my name which is there, my firm's name. Are you getting that point? So that's why it is very important to understand what is bare statement, areas, and all those stuff. Sorry. And there are guidelines also issued by the council. These guidelines somewhere define how should be and what should be basically a font size, how it should be there. All those things are there. Okay, I'll be taking up in a while that particular guidelines also. But these guidelines are already there. So we need to make sure, the substance over the legal form kind of thing. The substance should not be, of advertising the thing, but the substance should be of kind of, intimating that, okay, there is some change and the general public of that particular area should be aware about that particular change. Okay, so that is something taken care of, required to be taken care of. So there is a Council General Guidelines for Advertisement, which is 2008 guidelines, which explains what is the write-up, what is the write-up, advertisement through write-up, what are the things that you need to put up, firm details, logo, what should be website, how should website work, okay, and font size, how logo is there, okay, what should not be there on the website, online third-party guidelines regarding online third-party platforms, publication of name of chartered accountants or chartered accountant firms in directories. Okay, like if there are some application-based aggregators online, just like Zomato for chartered accountants. If you want to order a chartered accountant service, just go to some app and select. So whether those kind of services are permissible or not. Okay, so there are a lot of things in that particular guidelines that I will be discussing in detail. Don't worry on that. But yes, these are guidelines that we will be discussing. And I will be discussing along with clause 6 and 7, some with clause 6, some with clause 7, so that both are linked. Clause 7 is also something that talks about the advertisement. Clause 6 also talks about the advertisement. But they have all different areas. Clause 6 talks about soliciting the work. At the end, if you are soliciting the work, clause 6. If you are doing professional attainments or something like that, showing to all, clause 7. Okay. So, this was with respect to empanelment. And then we discuss about certain advertisement in note in press, which are allowed. But bare minimum, limited. Okay. Then what is allowed? Other than then what is there? Then a member is permitted to issue classified advertisement, okay, in general or newsletter of the institute. Nowhere else. I'm not talking about any other newspaper or general. It should be in institutes, general, or newsletter Okay, where member can give classified advertisement for sharing professional work on assignment basis, or seeking for partnership, or salaried employment. Okay, sharing professional work, salaried employment, partnership. Okay, provided it contains the detail of the accountant, charter accountant, telephone number, fax, email ID, okay, email ID, website, and all the things that are there should be factual position, okay, not something exaggerated, etc., with details and factual position. Again, that is permitted only in journals, newsletter, and institutes journal and newsletter. Nowhere else. Nowhere else. Okay. So this is about the advertisement and note in press. Any doubt? Okay. There is one doubt. What is meant by handbills? Is giving updated guidance of matters such as changes in text to person which are not my client through emails or on personal calls or WhatsApp group. Would it amount to equivalent to issuing handbills? Very good question. Now see, this is something, advertising and sharing the knowledge. Okay. So there is a separate, guidelines on that particular part. What I am allowed to do when it comes to the advertising about the knowledge or, educational videos. So what happens is, if I say, for example, let's say if I'm sharing the knowledge, update on text. Okay. If I'm advertising like update on text, and again, I need to check what is the substance. Is the substance is something that I want to, advertise about my firm's name? Or is the substance that I'm just, sharing the information or updated material? What is that? That will decide whether it will tantamount to handbills or not. Understand? So if I say today, for example, if I'm sharing a material where I'm writing, okay, this is the XYZ chartered accountant firm, office here providing these kind of services, this is his services, okay, expert in this, and along with that text information, knowledge, everything is given to everyone, irrespective of person. I'm doing, Google advertisement, I'm doing sharing all the WhatsApp group, everyone, everywhere. It is advertisement kind of you are doing. But when it comes to only sharing of information, okay, like if there is some announcement you are sharing there, if there is some, what do you say, update in the text which you are sharing to your clients, then that is not advertisement, provided, okay, provided same way it applies to educational videos. I'm uploading videos on the YouTube. Provided there is no reference made to chartered accountant firm, okay, or any contact details or website or address, something like that. Now there is another question. If such advertisement for sharing of work of assignment is not given on institute's journal, but given on social media like LinkedIn, Will it be counted as professional misconduct? Yes, because it specifically states Institute's journal, newsletter. LinkedIn is not the Institute's journal or newsletter. So simple as that. What if the name of firm is mentioned in obituary advertisement? See, not only that one, but I'll take up this matter with name of the firm on greeting cards and invitations also everywhere. Okay. Or if there is a silver or golden jubilee, platinum celebrations or something like that. So let me take up that point next that point. As of now, park it up, Rakesh, but I'll be taking up. Any doubt with the advertisement and the note in press? Any doubt? Note press, something like that. No doubts? Okay. Now, the next, what is advertisement under box number? Like, can you explain with Pooja where you are seeing this one? Advertisement under box number. What is that one you are referring to? Box number in newspaper. I'm still not able to get that one. Box number in newspaper. Sorry. Can you just explain in bit detail? Okay. Meanwhile, let me take up the next one. The next part that I want to discuss is about the one that if the name is there on the greeting card or invitation, what is that scenario? Firm's name on greeting card, sorry, issue of greeting cards or invitations. Okay. So can firm's name be added on the greeting card, invitations, obituary, or something like that? See, Council as of today has not approved the issue of greeting cards or personal invitation by members indicating their professional designation, status, qualifications, all that stuff. So as of today, you cannot issue greeting cards or personal invitations by having your professional designation, status, or qualification. Okay. However, you can still mention as a charter accountant as well as the name of the firm on greeting cards. Okay, for invitation for marriages and religious ceremonies. So charter accountant and the firm's name can be there, but not beyond that. So basically, name of firm plus chartered accountant can only be there. If I mention that, okay, partner of XYZ charter accountant or partner or something like that, no, that is my professional designation. Okay, managing partner, direct taxes, XYZ, and company charter accountants, no. Status, something like that. Qualifications, XYZ, FCA, all those stuff, all the qualifications, whatever I have. Plus, what do you say? Managing partner of this company, this thing, all that thing. All those things are not allowed. Name of firm and the term designation charter accountant is still fine. Any doubt? But that too, that greeting cards I'm talking about, invitations I'm talking about, are only sent to clients, relatives, and friends of the member. Nowhere else. It should not be like that. I have a let's say, for example, I'll give a hypothetical example. There is a invitation card for opening up of my new office. I have printed an invitation card. This is a CA firm, chartered accountant firm, opening of new office location. That's it. I have printed. But what I do is I circulate those invitations in all of the area with the newspaper. So one invitation is going in each and every newspaper, and people are spreading that invitations on road, out of the colleges, out of corporate campuses, everywhere. That is advertisement. That is not allowed, because you are not sending to clients, relatives, or friends. You are sending to a whole of the city. That is something not allowed. So, provided such greeting cards or invitations are only sent to client, relatives, friends of that member. Okay. Any doubt till now? So there is one doubt. Are firms allowed to issue diary calendar printed with the firm name to its clients on occasion of a new year? See, again, that depends upon how you are, presenting that. It's not about, giving just calendar or diary. How bold it is, in what way you are giving, what is the purpose of giving. On occasion of New Year, usually chartered accountant firms do not share such kind of things. What I have experienced personally, CA firms do not share just, diaries or printed calendar to their clients. Okay. So I'm not sure, but again, it is very subjective, because the size, the color, how prominent it is, how it is appearing, all that stuff is there. What is the purpose of sharing? Okay, how much quantity is being shared? What is the scenario? That is a scene. What is written exactly on that diary? Those are the things which are required to be taken care of when we are talking about sharing diaries and all that stuff. See, employees, I'm fine. Employees, when I'm talking about employees, you will not solicit the work. The clause says that clause 6 is about soliciting the work through means which is not open to chartered accountant. Understand? We are talking about clause 6. Over there, any which ways, my employees are already covered where? In other clauses. I have already covered the employees over here somewhere. Like, if I go, okay, to clause 1, if the employee is CA in practice, he can, I'm allowed to, allowed him to practice in my name. That is perfectly fine. Plus, I am, kind of not any which ways, influencing my employee. Okay, you give me work. He's already working for me. How much I will influence my employee? So it's not about soliciting clients or professional work from employee. It is through advertisement or circular and public in general. I'm soliciting from them. So a lot of firms give those things to employees. That is perfectly fine. Generally, not to the partner's client, because they are not your clients. So when it comes to sending the firm's greeting card or invitations, if they are not your client, then you are usually not allowed to send, even if they are partners clients also, because they are not your client. They don't know you. It will be kind of you're soliciting the work from your partner's client. Thank you, Ginny. Thank you very much. Any doubt till now? Any doubt? Another thing can be that I want to discuss is publication of books. What if I tomorrow take out a book? Okay, I publish a book on audit. Am I allowed to mention my firm's name, designation, charter accountant, all that stuff on the book? Yes or no? I have taken out a professional book, okay, in the market, book on auditing standards, something like that. Am I allowed to mention the name of my firm or my name again with charter accountant qualification, mobile number, website? What is allowed? What do you think? Not allowed. Yes. Designation CA allowed. No, not allowed. Only professional. In case of a publication of book, okay, what is allowed basically? Name of firm plus designation charter accountant. Other than that, if I do any of the professional attainments, if I mention the contact details, if I mention website, if I mention something other than this, which is not, that is not allowed. So, book, article, presentation, if I mention designation, charter accountant, if I mention firm's name, perfectly fine. But that is also, again, you need to focus over substance. It should not be like that, okay, first page of the book, the cover page itself is the name of the firm. So I released a book with the name of the firm or designation charter accountant written below that. It should not be the case. You have to always see the substance apart from, what is allowed or not. Okay. So substance will always be there for them. Second, one more thing I just want to take up is advertisement for silver, golden, platinum. I'm not sure what comes behind the after the platinum, but or whatever. Sanitary celebrations, something like that, etc. Celebrations. Okay. So what if I do? I have completed 50 years of my firm. Like my firm has completed 50 years. Can I do advertisement for that? Yes or no? Quickly. Yes or no? And I'm talking about in newspaper. Yes or no? Okay. So let's say my firm has completed 50 years. I am doing an advertisement in the newspaper. My firm XYZ and charter accountants has completed 50 years. And in on event of 50 years, we are organizing a kind of get together event in our office. Something like that. And I'm doing in newspaper. Am I allowed? No. Okay. Allowed to clients. I'm doing in newspaper, not to clients, newspaper. What do you think? Quickly. Yes, no. I'll take up one more. Okay. Let's say, for example, my firm has completed 50 years. They are advertising in newspaper. A get-together event is planned in the city office, and that is circulated in the newspaper across the city. That you may visit freely. Not allowed, not allowed, not allowed, not allowed. Now, answer to this is yes, allowed, but subject to substance of advertisement. So council has permitted to do advertisement about silver, gold and platinum sanitary celebrations of the firm. Advertisement in the newspaper, newsletter, perfectly fine. But at the same time, you need to see the substance of the advertisement. It should not be something glaring, big, too much high fonts, first page of the newspaper across the India. No. It is, if you just want to do an advertisement about completing the 30 years, you can have a that bare statement form, completed 30 years. This is the CA form, something like that. We have a get together event. Simple. Clear? Any doubt to this one? Any doubt? There is one doubt. Is there like they are asking, is there any way to attend this particular session through Zoom? Yes, there is a way on the institute website. There is an announcement, BOS website. Go to the BOS website. There is an announcement. Go below on the announcement. If you'll open, you will get the subject-wise link. So in that case, you can just click on the link and you can attend the lecture over here through Zoom. Perfectly fine. Across country, the newspaper will have this. See, what if CA firm having many branches? If any of, like in the city where you have a branch, you are doing a celebration kind of thing, small get together, perfectly fine. In city of that newspaper, you can circulate. Across the country, first page, no. That is incorrect. That is not fair. So city having many branches, perfectly fine. Across the country, first page, not fair. Pooja, again, printing dates of inauguration, setting up on letterhead, newspaper, other professional document. See, newspaper or other documents, I'm doing a way of advertisement, generally not allowed. Okay, I'm trying to do the advertisement, then it is not allowed. So again, it goes through the professional attendance. Now, the date of setting up of practice by a member or date of establishment of the firm, okay, on letterheads, other professional documents would tantamount to a professional attainment. For example, since 1940, since 1930, you are trying to show that you are superior than the other firms by mentioning that. And hence, even on the letterheads, those are not allowed. So date of setting up of practice by a member or the date of establishment of a firm on the letterhead, other professional document is not allowed. You should not do that. Even on the website, when you are not allowed to do on letterhead and other professional documents, then on website generally it is not allowed. But again, it depends upon in which section you are mentioning that. So in website, you have a multiple sections. Okay. So in which section on the website you are mentioning, that also very important. So there is particularly, there is a guidelines with respect to the websites. What should be there on the website, how website should look like, all that stuff is there. So over there, like, which section is there, where you are establishing or where you are mentioning, that kind of thing. It's based on that. Now, if I go on to About Us page, over there, I have some details about member, name of the firm, year of establishment, something like that. On About Us column, perfectly fine. That can be allowed on the website. But I am saying on the top header of the website, every page, everywhere, then it is a problem. So Sumit, yes, again, on website, if it is in under About Us, About Firm, over there it is fine, because you are talking about the firm in that particular section. If someone wants to know about the firm, they will go onto that particular page, and they will understand about the firm. That is perfectly fine. But giving on the front page and giving pop-ups or mentioning on the header of the website, that if anyone visits on the website, whether he is interested to know about your year of establishment, irrespective of that, I'm showing him year of establishment, that is a problem. So remember, there is in website guideline, I will discuss in detail, there is about concept of pull mode, that whatever information I want to know, that much only should given to me. The pull mode, not the push mode. Okay, take the year of establishment, take the year of experience and all that stuff. No, that should not be the case. Any doubt till now? Any doubt on this one? Okay. One more I will take it up. Sponsorship. Okay. Next year I want to sponsor. My firm wants to sponsor IPL. What do you think? Allowed, not allowed? Or let's say they want to be a sponsor for the national games. XYZ charter accountant, golden sponsor, national games. Or let's say, for example, I'll give you an example. There is a Ganpati event, or there is some, local religious festival. Over there, I want to sponsor my firm's name. Absolutely correct. Sponsorship are not allowed. Not allowed to sponsor an event. Not allowed to sponsor an event. Except there's an exception to this. Except event is conducted by POU, that is a program organizing unit of ICAI. If they are conducting, and I have a and having prior permission or approval of CPE Directorate of ICAI, then only I can sponsor an event at the ICAI. Even for the sponsoring of an event at the ICAI, I need, first of all, permission from the CPE Directorate. Second, the event should be conducted by the POU unit of ICAI. Otherwise, no, straightforward. Let's say, for example, there is a CSR event. CSR event. Over there, okay, I am mentioning my firm's name, only firm's name. CSR event, only firm's name. Is it fine if I mention, if I specify the firm's name in CSR event? What do you think? Is it allowed, not allowed? Yes or no? Only firm's name. I'm not mentioning anything else. On CSR event, I'm mentioning the firm's name. Yes, no. Allowed, not allowed, allowed, not allowed. So when I talk about CSR event, it is not allowed. Firm's name not allowed. No. You cannot mention firm's name. That is for sure. However, you can mention your name with the CA prefix. That is perfectly fine. Okay. If individual's name is required to be mentioned anywhere, for example, organized by CA Harshit Tekwani, something like that, perfectly fine. But if I say organized by Harshit Tekwani and company charter accountants, no, not allowed. Even mentioning CA logo is not allowed. You cannot. That will tantamount to advertisement. Clear? Any doubt till now with respect to this? Yes, no? One more I want to take it up. Sharing profile of firm. Let's say I am sharing profile of my firm on social media platform. Allowed or not allowed? I'm sharing profile of my firm on social media platform. Yes or no? Social media platform is sharing profile of the firm. Yes, absolutely correct. Not allowed. Sharing in WhatsApp group. Sharing on WhatsApp group or groups of, messaging apps. Anyone? Sharing on messaging apps, forms profile. Absolutely correct. Not allowed. So I can only share my firm's profile only to prospective client I can only share to a prospective client in response to specific query. Okay. In response to specific query. Means if the client is asking share a profile, yes, I can share. If the client is asking what is your name and I share my profile, so you need to understand the specific query. Okay, unless it is in the response to a proposed client, in response to a specific query, perfectly fine. Okay, please share your profile, please share all the details, please share about your firm, about yourself, okay, in detail, perfectly fine. I can share the profile. Please provide me your phone number, I share the profile. Please share your name, I'm sharing everything. No. So you need to understand there should be a specific query, proportionate to what is asked. Okay. What about LinkedIn as social media platform? No, not allowed. Social media platform, you are sharing to everyone. And as I said, unless and until you have a specific query, you one-to-one specific query, perfectly fine. Whether there is a DM on the social media platform, he's asking your firm's profile, you can share. But sharing to general public without at that particular point in time, you cannot say that there was a specific query and your response is proportionate to that specific query. No. I hope it is clear till now. Any doubt? Any doubt till now? Whatever we have discussed today, this is the clause 6 that I wanted to discuss. I'll be taking up more things, more guidelines with the clause 7, but this is clause 6. I hope it is clear. Yes, GD, I will look into that. If there is any, why the name of lecture or the time of lecture is not appearing, I'll definitely look into it. Anyone else? Any doubt till now? So there is one requirement just to show you how to get the Zoom link of the lectures, okay, from the portal. So what you need to do is you go to ICAI BOS portal. This is the ICAI BOS portal, bos.live.ici.org. Okay, this portal is there. Fine. On this portal, go below. You have announcement with respect to virtual classes. Commencement of live virtual classes for CA student final course appearing in May 2025 examination. This last announcement, if you cannot see, you can click also view all, and in that also you will find, but it is appearing. Click on that. This announcement will come up, this particular PDF attached over here. Over there, you will find link for all the lectures. Paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, paper 4, paper 5. Zoom link are there. These Zoom link will not change. Okay, so you can attend the lectures on Zoom through these links. Okay. So if anyone still has a doubt, they can get the link from here.
Sir, even mail has been sent to the students with a link.
Yes, but if someone has missed the mail, so they can get it from here also. Yeah. So you can also refer to the mail, but if someone has missed the mail or they have not received the email, Just go here. It is the same link which you have received in the email. Okay. Any doubt till now? Any doubt? Again, I'm asking. If you have any doubt, just let me know. So there is one doubt. Can sponsorship of event or prizes be given in personal name of member or in the name of firm? Is there any restriction for not using designation CA in the name of individual? See, sponsorship, whether member in practice or a CA firm, cannot do. CSR activity, I'm not talking about sponsorship. Sponsorship is something, you're having everywhere. In CSR activity, if there is something, small name somewhere, for example, organizing, you are part of the team, some CSR team, you are doing some CSR activities where you are not sponsoring the CSR, but you are part of some team or some part of some CSR activity, where is name of that particular team is required to be mentioned. Over there, prefix CA is perfectly fine. But sponsorship, whether individual member or a CA firm, they cannot do sponsorship. I hope it is clear, Pooja. Will training for all chapters of study material? Yes, it will be all chapters. So we are currently doing chapter 19. Then we will start all next chapters also. So it will be for all chapters. Any further doubt? If no doubts, then I propose to keep lecture till here. Okay. And thank you guys. Thank you for joining the lecture. I will see you in the next lecture. And meanwhile, please provide your feedback. This is really important for me. Really important. Okay. So do provide your feedback. It is really important for me. Thank you. Thank you guys. I'll see you in the next lecture.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir. Good night. Thank you, Ashok ji. Good night.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.